Now, life insurance fraud remains a concern for South African insurers, and killings with the sole purpose of cashing in on insurance money has been recently put back into the spotlight with the ongoing case of two Mpumalanga sisters who allegedly killed their mother for an 80,000 Rand insurance payout. Well, for more on this insurance fraud schemes, I'm joined in studio by Garth de Klerk. He's the Chief Executive of South African Insurance Crime Bureau. Garth, good afternoon to you, and thank you so much for joining us.
Good afternoon, Lindi. Thanks for having us.
I mean, off the bat, we've got the story of the Mpumalanga sisters who, are wanted by the police for their actions. I know you've spoken and done an interview where you speak about a body that was received and a claim that was made over this deceased person. A few months later, the same person, there's another claim for that exact body. Tell us a bit about what you make of this and how prevalent is it in South Africa?
Thanks very much, Lindi. So life insurance fraud is unfortunately very prevalent. There's a number of modus operandis that the syndicates are following. Bodies for rent, murder for money, the walking dead that we call, so where you die in 2012, 2014, twice last week. These are MOs that we're seeing on the increase all the time. I would say we deal with thousands of claims per year that are fraudulent life claims or smaller funeral policy claims.
And I mean, the issue of this rent-a-body, where you can rent a body and make a claim and attempt to get this money from an insurance company, there must be an entire ring working around that, because how do you keep a dead body for that long?
No, correct. And again, it's a syndicate. So these syndicates are working within the mortuary system, within funeral parlors. They have law enforcement wings, and they are able to move bodies around between the different funeral parlors, get different doctors to sign off on false death certificates for the insurance claim. And it's a well-organized scheme. So it's not just haphazardly, I woke up this morning and I thought, well, let me go do this. These syndicates are well-organized, well-planned, they are correctly resourced, and they've got fingers in the right pies.
And over the years, have there been efforts by police to kind of get to the bottom of this? What efforts, have been made? No,
definitely, Lindi. And I think that's where the Insurance Crime Bureau comes in. We play a bridge between the insurance industry, both the short-term and the long-term industry, and law enforcement. We're there basically to help law enforcement identify the frauds and then assist them in the investigations and prosecutions. And law enforcement is doing a lot of work to try and clamp down on these type of syndicates. The problem is, as you know, there's over 2,000 physical crimes per day in South Africa. That's a lot of physical crime that we have to adapt to. And we say in fraud in South Africa is a contact sport. If I have to kill you to make money, that's not a problem. Times are tough.
How then do insurance companies, I mean, we've spoken about how prevalent this is, how then do insurance companies make sure that, before they pay out a claim, that all the details are correct and this is not just a fraudster?
Correct. So we talk about intelligent partnerships, and intelligent partnerships is all around the sharing and collation of information. Once we've got the raw data, we have to be able to apply a level of artificial intelligence on those data sources, match the different data sources, and then identify the syndicates. Once you've identified a person has died before, it's very easy to say, well, you can't die 3 years later again. We also are looking at deploying other technologies to identify the body in the morgue, identify the individual that you're talking to, and we're going to be rolling that out in the next couple of months.
I suppose that was my next question, is at what point then do we introduce technology to kind of help, fight this type of crime? Because surely there must be something out there that would be able to, if you're getting two bodies in a matter of months, surely there should be some sort of technology that helps you identify that this person has already sent us a claim and this is the exact same body that we're being claimed for again.
No, and that's exactly it. We have to deploy technology, and your previous speaker from the CSR was fascinating. That type of technology is exactly what we need. We need innovative thinking. We need people that are committed to fighting the fraud. And our associations, SAIA, ASISA, we work with players like Sabric. We all come together in order to deploy common resources as a community. And once we've got those solutions, we're able to assist law enforcement in actually physically fighting the crime. So you've got the artificial, the data scientists, the intelligence around it, and then you have the physical side where we have to interact with law enforcement. And over time, we have become a lot closer in actually protecting the South African community through the investment of all of these bodies.
Sure. I mean, let's look at how we were, faring in 2019. How many claims, if you can share that with us, were received, and how bad was the situation?
It's very difficult, Lindi. We don't keep statistical information on the number of claims because we only know the claims that we see. But I can safely say thousands of false claims were submitted to insurance companies, and certainly it runs into the billions of rands. CISA, who's the body that looks after the long-term insurance industry, they produce statistics, and you can go visit their website to see some of the statistics that they produce. And again, that's only the claims that were detected. A lot of this goes undetected. So the sisters, for example, it was quite a brutal murder. It was very much in your face, but a lot more other people are subtle.
Absolutely. I mean, my colleague JJ Tabane had an interview last night with, the police who are working on that specific case in Mpumalanga, and he was saying that, when you look at that story about the Mpumalanga sisters, you ask the question, is this the first time that they're doing something like this?
Definitely not. You would probably find, if you investigated the environment around those sisters, they have been involved in other things. Again, you don't wake up in the morning and decide to murder your mother. It's not the type of virgin crime that you're going to see coming out of an individual. So you'll probably find they've been involved in other things. We often see hitmen involved with syndicates, where there's a kingpin and they employ hitmen to actually take out individuals unrelated to the kingpin, purely for insurance proceeds. So there's a number of cases we're investigating at the moment where there are professional syndicated hitmen that are taking out individuals for insurance proceeds.
Sure. And I mean, over the last couple of years, we've also seen stories coming out from us as the media reporting on, a husband that kills his wife, who happened to be a lot more wealthier than he was, etc., etc. Surely this must make it more harder then for South Africans to send in their claims, because insurance companies must be beefing up how they pay out their claims and what it is that they're looking at.
I think that's true. I think we also have to give insurance companies a lot of benefit in the fact that they are deploying technology to ensure that they pay valid claims. And that's what the industry is there for, is to pay valid claims to assist people that have been in a traumatic incident, whether it be an accident or a death, and they've paid a premium for a product. What we are doing as an industry is employing technology, resources, education, intelligence, etc., to ensure that the claims we pay are valid, and to cut the cost to the normal man on the streets, where it's not fair you're paying the cost for the frauds of other people. And that's what we're looking to achieve as an industry, is really valid claims. And the insurance companies are pretty good at that.
Garth, really interested in finding out from you, do you find that it's people who are closer to you, and so, relatives who are, killing people who, just wanting their life insurance payouts, or is it, as you've spoken about, the syndicates who, working on a bigger scale, who are really outdoing anything that your family member would have done to you?
So, Lindi, we see a real mix of both. There's no one answer to that. We've had cases where a lady took out her mother, she killed her own children, she was then after her sister's children, all for life insurance policies. So very, very close family. I wouldn't have liked her to be my sister, but she was after direct family. And then we see people that work, for example, in our medical health environment, where they know that auntie or that oomie has got a very bad cough, is probably going to die in the next 6 months, and then they will try and take out a fraudulent policy on that person. So you see the really well-organized syndicates, and then you see the family scenarios. And there's a mix of both. There's hundreds of cases of both of those examples.
Sure. I mean, in the African culture, it's very sensitive when someone says to you, I want to take life insurance out on you. And I speak of the African culture because I don't know how it is in other cultures. And just getting a death certificate who has passed away, and you may need it, for work, just to excuse yourself from work, that is a big deal.
Sure.
Should we as South Africans then be looking out for stuff like that? If someone comes to me, a relative comes to me and says, Lindi, I want to take life insurance out on you, so if anything happens to you, I am able to, contribute to your funeral. Should I be, more alert when questions like that are asked?
I think you should be very nice to that person if they take life insurance on you. But no, I think you have to be aware. You have to be aware of the situation around you. We can no longer be complacent in fighting fraud and the related crimes. So certainly if somebody not close to you were to say, Lindi, listen, I've got a special deal this week at Checkers, I want to be able to buy life insurance on you, I would question that.
Yeah.
If it's a close relative, maybe less so. You know, you have to trust people around you as well, otherwise we won't enjoy life.
Garth, as we wrap up this conversation, your advice to life insurance companies, given what we've seen coming out of the media?
Again, we have to look at intelligent partnerships, share information, pool resources, pool the intellect that we have as an industry. There are thousands of investigators within the short and long-term industry dedicated to fighting crime and fraud. They are experts in their field. We need to bring that all together and make sure that we attack these syndicates as a force, as a community.
All right. Well, thank you so much for that. Garth de Klerk, he's the Chief Executive of South African Insurance Crime Bureau, speaking to us about what life insurance companies need to be looking out for as they pay out those claims, and just be on alert about the fraud that is happening as well.